and it didn't even have a proper name. Therefore, I didn't know who to turn to in the aftermath of triggers and terrifying nightmares and the hypervigilance that would see me pacing up and down that spare room for hours, trying to calm my nervous system. Nobody gets PTSD from something that doesn't exist. I look back on myself as I was then with compassion, but also with a sense of awe, because I did get up. I did create a new life, a happy and thriving one. I was doing the very best I could with all the knowledge I had at that time, and nobody can ask more of themselves than that. Nevertheless, a year after the event, in the midst of this new life, my physical health deteriorated from all the stress. It was only then that I sought help from a psychologist who looked me in the eye and said, "What you have been through is the same level of trauma a hostage experiences in a siege situation. I'm amazed you are still standing at all." I knew I was still standing because I had emboldened myself, and I had done it by telling myself true stories of courage and resilience. My mother was a tremendous storyteller. As a child, she enthralled me with stories of my ancestors, people of the vast Russian Empire, Russians, Ukrainians, Poles, Latvians, Estonians, Lithuanians, as well as some Finns and Swedes. Their stories were epic and often tragic, but the message was always clear. Life knocks you down, you get up. It knocks you down again, you get up again. When I fell off that metaphorical cliff, my heart and mind were smashed. I was sure every bone in my body was broken. I didn't see how I could possibly stand up. When I did eventually raise myself, tottering on shaking legs, I dusted myself off and lurched forward, not certain of my direction, but moving nonetheless. It wasn't pretty, and it wasn't particularly heroic or graceful, but I felt I was doing what humans are naturally designed to do, and what our ancestors have always done. We get up, move forward, and try to learn from whatever has happened to us. That was how life was presented to me. That was the story I had always been told. My parents demonstrated that narrative to me in their own lives. My mother reinforced it with the coming-of-age stories she gave me to read. Black Beauty, Little Women, Great Expectations. I reinforced it in myself with my addiction to reading biographies. The life stories of entertainers, artists, writers, human rights activists, and environmentalists, as well as the stories of ordinary people who had overcome some adversity and had gone on to become extraordinary. They became emboldened. Biographies gave me a certain point of view about life. It seems that many of us have some significant event that occurs in our childhood or youth, some sort of life-changing adversity, and the rest of our life is spent resolving, understanding, and overcoming it, and eventually making peace with it. In some sad cases, if the event isn't dealt with, it usually destroys the person involved. It's as if we are all given a divine assignment, and the choice is ours about how to complete it. Most writers are familiar with the hero's journey, but if you haven't heard of it, you will recognize the concept. George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, said he followed this story structure to create one of the most successful movie sagas of all time. Across Hollywood, screenwriters use it to write everything from romantic comedies to horror movies. In 1949, an American mythologist named Joseph Campbell compared several classical myths and developed the theory that they shared a common structure that he believed came from deep within the human subconscious. A hero or heroine will be given a quest that will require them to leave their ordinary world and overcome various trials and temptations, as well as find a mentor and gather like-minded companions.